Hey everybody, it's Tara Jones and it's time for today's drive time topic. It's Sunday and I'm going to do part 2 of a topic that I previously discussed, and that is about police brutality and racial profiling. I want to talk to everybody out there. I want to talk to the black people. I want to talk to every other culture that's outside of our culture, that so everybody understands kind of what's going on. Okay, first of all, like I said the first time, every police officer is not a bad police officer. You have a lot of honest cops out there, and for all of my fellow African Americans who are taking this position or have all of this serious anger against the police, and get rid of the police and this and that, I'm going to tell you, you take that position until you actually need a police officer yourself. But for those who feel like it doesn't exist, I'm gonna tell you a few things first. Let me just first talk to you, okay? You say, well, they should have complied. They should not have done this. They should not have done that. Police officer was in fear for his life. I would have done the same thing had I been in their position. Okay, let's look at some things. Every serial killer, every white serial killer in the history has been taken into custody alive. Most of the mass serial killers, we talking about Bundy, we talking about the Green River Killer, we talking about BTK, all these mass serial killers that were white. These were white men. Police officers knew, because they were investigating the case, so they knew that they were looking for someone that was dangerous, correct? Okay, so please explain to me why they weren't in fear for their life. With not one. And even if you hear people talk about the general, the boy that shot up the churches, that church, and killed all those black people, and then they take him to Burger King. Well, you know, they weren't in fear for their lives. He just killed I don't know how many people, but they weren't in fear for their life. But they are yet so fearful of our black men. So much so, we had a black man killed because he was asking for help. An unarmed black man asking for help, and he was killed. So please don't utter it out your mouth that it doesn't exist. Don't utter out your mouth that we should handle things differently. Okay? That just doesn't happen. What you need to do is find out, you know what, how can we be a part of the solution? How can we help rectify this? Because it's not right. You get pulled over, you're called ma'am, sir. We get pulled over, we call boy or anything but ma'am or sir. And that's 90% of the time, okay? So, I just wanted to talk to you first. I wanted to get that out and make sure you understand that what we're feeling is very real. And every time we go out in our vehicles or we're out in public and then there's a police officer present, we have to question in our minds, okay, am I acting accordingly? Am I doing things right? Am I doing in any kind of way appearing threatening? Because we are concerned whether we're going to get killed or not. Mothers have to worry about their young men, not so much because of the black on black violence, but because they're concerned whether they're going to get pulled over and get shot. So it's real within our community. This is a real issue. And until you guys can embrace that and say, you know what, we need to all put a stop to it. Because what you've done is you've put off the white, you've taken off the white robes and you put on either a badge or a black robe. That is what you've done to us. Now let me talk to our black people. I want to make sure I adjust our people in our culture, my community. Guys, girls, you know what? I understand. I understand your fear. I understand your concern. And I understand the unfairness that comes off when you're pulled over versus when a white person is pulled over, or when the police stop and question you versus when they stop and question a white person. I understand that. However, two wrongs don't make a right. Okay, and I was always taught that no matter how I don't care how you try to make it, you cannot take two right shoes and make a right and a left shoe. It just doesn't work. So what you have to do is make sure that you're doing all that you can to be accountable for yourself. Make sure you're being respectful. Make sure you're not being intimidating. And stop. We have to stop having this lack of respect for authority. That is something that has happened in the recent generations, that we feel like we don't have to respect authority. And you do. Whether they are right or wrong. I'm going to tell you, I was brought up to respect my elders, whether they were right or wrong. And let somebody else deal with them being wrong. But you still stay in your place. So I'm going to tell you, live to walk away from that situation, to be able to fight for yourself, to be able to fight for your rights, because there are people out there that are willing to help you fight, as long as you go about doing it the right way. So again, be respectful, and if you have to make sure you say, my name is so-and-so, hands up, I am unarmed and I am no threat to you. Make sure you verbally say those things, because it's important that those things are recorded somewhere, because you're giving people an opportunity to have some evidence and some power to be able to convict these bastards that are acting like they are the judge and the jury. Because the last thing I read in the Constitution, that we are innocent until proven guilty. But guess what? I'm going back to both the white community and the black community. 90% of us black people, we are guilty until proven innocent. And I will tell you that. Look at the court cases. Look at how many of our people are sitting in prison. Look at how many of our people are doing crazy time. They're doing ridiculous sentences. And a lot of it is because we were guilty until proven innocent. And now you have a lot of people being freed based on DNA, based on new look at evidence. And so now you're learning that, hey, we made some mistakes. And I'm going to tell you, it takes a bigger person, a bigger DA, to come and say, we made a mistake back then, let this person out, than those DAs that are hard-headed and they don't want to look at these guys that are sitting behind bars doing time for something that they didn't do. They don't want to make it look like they made a mistake. These police officers that are killing our boys, they don't want it. They gung-ho, okay? They are gung-ho. And I truly believe that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? Please, this is not where that's coming from. But I truly believe that it's rooted in the extermination of our people. The root of this is to exterminate our people. But guess what? We are a strong people. We have survived so much that guess what? You cannot exterminate us. You cannot, and you will not. Young people, you are smarter than that. You are better than that. Get it together. Make sure that you have your ducks in a row. So when you are pulled over or the police stop you, you are okay. And I'm not saying that you got to bow down and kiss nobody's behind. But you can say whatever it is you need to say in a respectful way. Practice it. Do some practicing. That's what you do. When y'all just sing kicking it Willie Bobo style, hey, y'all practice. Practice that stuff and say, okay, if you pulled over, this is how we going to handle this situation. right or wrong. And that officer, that viral that went video in Lansing right there where I'm from, where that police officer was choking that black boy on the yard, it was wrong. It was very, very wrong what he did, and how he went about communicating to that young black boy, because he did not communicate to the white boy that was filming. He didn't communicate to him. He didn't communicate like that to him. He didn't call him those names. He didn't treat him that way. So I want you to know, the guys, that this stuff is real. It is very, very real. And until we stand up and say, let's do something about it, and stop expecting the government to do everything about it, it's going to continue. So that's my drive time topic for today. Again, real world problems, real world solutions. I love you guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting a video on my social media accounts about a contest that's coming up. Your opportunity to win cash money is coming up this week. Love you. Peace.